Maintenance of records. Policy. Clients will be allowed to access the client's records maintained by TSI of Iowa following the TSI guidelines. The procedure is the record will be orderly and well organized and easy to locate and retrieve. TSI records are secure and maintained behind lock and key to maintain confidentiality of the member's information. Separate files are maintained for each member. Clients have access to the record under the following conditions. The records are reviewed and supervised at the office of TSI. The information does not violate the confidentiality of any other client or person. Under normal circumstances, client TSI staff will have reviewed the materials and all the files in the same form. Persons served have the right to insert statement into their case records if a person inserts a statement in such a response to the statement are inserted with the knowledge of the person served, and he or she is given the opportunity to review such a response. If the organization determines the allowing the person or the family to review his or her case would be harmful and applicable law neither prohibits nor requires direct case records access by person served, then site administers, reviews, approves in writing, and enters the case record and reason with such a refusal. And the site administrator may assign a supervisor to read the record on the behalf of the person served, or the supervisor signs a written statement informing the person that the information provided would be harmful. The person served has the right to review the written statement regarding the refusal to have access to their case record. The person is allowed to insert a statement to case records regarding this matter. Current oral and written communications information should never be given out over the telephone or in person or by fax, email, or writing without an authority to do so, nor without certainty of the person receiving the information. In fact, is the client this justifiable reason to have access to requested information. Procedure. Appropriate safeguards to be taken to minimize the possibility of unauthorized access, tampering, loss of destruction, or of the client's information. Confidentiality and privacy. All client records will be maintained and secure in an environment stored under lock and key and assigned to staff. This includes during the day, the record not being utilized at any time in the office is closed. This also applies to the working documents that have not been made part of the formal record. Procedure. The whereabouts of the client record is to be known at all times. The removal of the record in the assigned storage area will be subject to approved purposes and a checkout system. Records should not be removed for any other reason except for the event of a court order procedure, staffings, or authorized audit purposes. The staff person with the record is fully responsible for safeguarding the record and all of its contents at the time for the entire time it is signed out. Certain staff will be assigned, as this is part of their job duties, to ensure that files are secured when the office is closed. Records are never to be removed from Transitional Services of Iowa office without permission and the appropriate supervisor or program head. Video and audio treatment tapes are generally assigned to therapist or worker who is accountable for the utilization of the tape. Under no circumstances will the treatment tape be utilized for reasons other than treatment, training, supervision within the agency. Treatment tapes may be temporarily shared with the child or family to enhance treatment, but the tapes are not to be reproduced or distributed under any other circumstances. Confidential electronic client information will be assessed and stored in the agency computers. Agency computers shall keep client information secure using a computer security method that is approved part of the agency's computer network. Only staff with assigned computer access have specified client information and to retrieve and reproduce it. The retention period begins at the time of the client case is closed. TSI requires all employees to sign a confidentiality agreement as a condition of the employment due to the possibility of privy to information, which is confidential and intended to TSI use only. All employees are required to maintain such information in strict confidence. The policy benefits you as an employee by protecting the interest of TSI and a safeguard of confidentiality, unique and valuable information of others. Should an occasion arise in which you are unaware of your obligations under this policy, it is your responsibility to consult your supervisor. Failure to comply with this policy would result in disciplinary action up to and including termination. Client information never be given out over the phone, in person, fax, or email, or in writing without the authority to do so, nor with certainty that person receiving the information who they say they are, and have justifiable reason to have access to it. Appropriate safeguards must be taken place to minimize the possibility of unauthorized access, tampering, loss, or destruction of a client information. So we have security of clients' records. Our policy is our clients' records will always be stored in a secured location. Procedure. Closed or discharged client records will be reviewed at the program site prior to transport in the main office campus where they will be stored. Records are to be reviewed to assure that client information has been included and organized appropriately, and then closed files records. Duplicate information can be removed from the client's record at that time. All client records have been closed or discharged due to all clients' records that have been closed or discharged are to be transported and stored at the main agency office and be locked in a storage area. The records are to be cataloged by client's name and date, discharged per internal office procedures. A master file listing shall be entered into the main database for easy retrieval. All listings will be permanently maintained. After retention period is completed, all confidentiality information is shredded and disposed of in an approved manner and authorized by the staff in charge. Tapes are being erased and computerized client's information is being deleted. Before destruction of any property, staff are able to check to assure that no extension of the original retention period based on any ongoing audits. In the event that TSI dissolves, DHS records will be retained and transferred to the directed and authorized by DHS staff. Confidentiality record client information is to be accessed and stored at the agency computers. TSI requires all employees to sign a confidentiality agreement, and condition of the employment is due to the possibility of privy information. Okay. Discuss that. Security of client records. Faxes. Policies on faxes regarding client information and confidentiality. When sending a fax, client information, the sender must first call the recipient and alert them the information is being sent. At the appropriate receiver and the information standing to receive the information. All faxes have a cover memo, see Appendix B, stating that the attached information is confidential, is intended for the name of the recipient, and the federal regulations are prohibited anyone receiving such fax to make a disclosure about the information. So, the cover memo is also needed if an error is made in sending the fax and they did not get the intended receiver. The cover memo is to include a statement which is unintended receiver is asked to call the sender. The sender will ask unintended receiver to verify the number of fax pages received error and ask to destroy the information while they are connected on the phone. A note will be made the unintended receiver's name and phone number and put it in the client's file. When transporting of records, records will only be removed and transported to another location authorized by agency management. Staff given the responsibility of transporting records at any time shall never let the records be left unattended and shall ensure safety, confidentiality of the client's records at all times until they are appropriately received by authorized personnel or authorized from the agency staff for retention and storage of the client files in the main agency office. Our email policy. It is a policy of TSI that the emails will be conducted through an encrypted email system, and the system will be utilized by TSI staff. Ready Hosting will control all emails that are sent through TSI server. All emails directed through the site secure account support, which you will get from your QA department, will ensure that secure emails is being sent. Ready Hosting are secured with a 128-bit SSL encryption. Security of client files. It is the policy of TSI that all client files be kept in a secure and confidential location. All client files will be kept in our double lock system. No client files will ever leave TSI office. Client records shall be maintained at a minimum of 5 years after the services are provided by the client. All personnel information pertaining to the client shall be shredded before placement of disposable receptacles. Client confidentiality shall be maintained and record destruction. Policy. It is the policy of TSI to secure client information is only to be taken outside of TSI office via TSI-issued USB drive and is not to be stored on computers outside of TSI office. All staff members may be issued USB drives at the time of employment. All USB drives are issued for only transferring secure client information from one place to another. No secure information is to be left on any computer outside of TSI, which includes staff, personnel, or home computers. Client records that are worked on outside of the office must be saved on this USB drive and transferred back to the TSI computer server. All clients' records will be stored on the TSI server and can be accessed via TSI supervisor.